Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nur Izzah Nid Hamzah and I'm from Team CPS, which is Sekolah Menengah Sains Pelabatas Team, along with my teammates Masturina Izzati binti Muhammad Johari, Muhammad Izul bin Cik Noh, and Muhammad Ani Ashraf bin Muhammad Azwan. The four of us were guided by our supervising teacher, which is Mr. Muhammad Faris Hafizi. Without wasting any time, I will proceed with our presentation. The sub-theme that was given to us is COVID-19, a paradigm shift in teaching and learning. As we can see here, we have chosen COVID-19 Innovates Education as our title. Now, I will explain the definition for each word in our title. COVID-19 is a short form for coronavirus disease. It is a virus that was found in 2019 somewhere in Wuhan, China, and it causes respiratory tract infection that can range from mild to lethal. Meanwhile, innovates means make changes in something established, especially by introducing new methods, ideas, or products. Next is education. It means the process of receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or university. Now, how jeopardous is COVID-19? Well, it can spread through air, water, and touch. It also spread from a person to another by contact only within 1 meter, and it makes patient breathing become tough and loss of taste or smell. Lastly, patient will face fever, dry cough, aches and pain, headache, and many more. So, to avoid from being infected by COVID-19, especially when in public, we must follow the standard operating procedure (SOP). First, we must always keep a distance of 1 meter and stay away from confined places. Please wear 2 face masks in crowded places and cover your mouth and nose every time you sneeze or cough. And lastly, please use hand sanitizer regularly.
Next, we look at the result we have obtained from a survey we have done on 152 students. Now we look at the first question. Does online learning affect your grades? 82.7% of students said online learning affects their grade, while 17.3% of students said online learning did not affect their grade. Now we look at the second question. Do you have enough facilities for your online learning? 73.1% of students said they have enough facilities for their online learning, while 26.9% of students said they do not have enough facilities for their online learning. Next, question 3. Do you have enough data, which is internet, for online classes? 79.8% of students said they have enough data for online classes, while 20.2% of students said they do not have enough data for their online learning. Next, question 4. Do you prefer face-to-face learning or online classes? 70.2% of students said they prefer face-to-face learning over online learning, while 29.8% of students said they prefer online learning rather than face-to-face learning. Next, we move to question 5. Do you think online learning has its advantages? 81.7% of students think online learning has its advantages, while 18.3% of students think online learning has no advantages. Next, question 6. Do you find it hard to do group work during online classes? 69.4% of students find it hard to do group work during online classes, while 34.9% of students do not find it hard to do group work during online classes. Next, question 7. Do teachers give full commitment during online classes? 88.5% of students say teachers give full commitment during online classes, while 11.5% of students say teachers do not give full commitment during online classes. Next, we move to question 8. Is the homework given too much for your online learning? 74% of students said the homework given too much for their online learning, while 26% of students said the homework given not too much for their online learning. Next, question 9. Do online classes give you pressure? 77.1% of students said online classes give them pressure, while 22.9% of students said online classes do not give them pressure. Lastly, we look at the last question. Are your parents concerned regarding your mental health and study? 66.7% of students said their parents were concerned regarding their mental health and study, while 33.3% of students said their parents weren't concerned regarding their mental health and study.
Now, I will proceed with the surveys of the teachers. The number of respondents for the survey is 35. For the first question, are the interactions between teachers and students better during online learning? As we can see here, 60% of the respondents said yes, while the other 40% said no. For the second question, did the assignments assigned were handed in on time? 37.1% said yes, while the other 62.9% said no. For the third question, do you think online learning gives any advantages for you? It seems that 77.1% said yes, while 22.9% said no. The fourth question, do you think giving homework helps students to enjoy online classes? 74.3% said yes, while 35.7% said no. For the last question, have you ever given homework or assignments to your students out of PDPR schedule? 71.4% said yes, while the other 28.6% said no.
Now, we move on to the new slide, which is case study. We have interviewed several students to determine a specific group of the students. So now, we can see some samples of the interview that we have done in the slide. Before I proceed to the explanation to this slide, I want to share you some questions that have been answered by the student involved. First, students need to assess the frequency of their attendance to attend online class. Then they need to give a reason. After that, the student must give their opinion about online learning. Okay, now we move on to student number 1. He rated his attendance frequency is only 5/10. He said that he is having difficulty to focus in online classes. For student number 2, he rated 7/10 because he feel less stress using online learning method. Then, student number 3 said that he enjoy online learning, and that's why we can see he give 9/10 for his attendance frequency. So now we can see that we have three group of students while in online class. Firstly, student who has various technical problems to attend online classes, such as internet problems, lack of device, and so on. Second, student who regularly to attend online class but at times do not. Third, a student who always attend classes and has no problem doing online classes. And for conclusion, Eric Hoffer has said, in time of change, learners inherit the earth, where they learn find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. So, thank you from our group, our team. Cheers and bye. Assalamualaikum.